Then you see a pack of Hell's Angels going by, people are going to want to look. Next thing you know, cars. Because they're just staring at us and not paying attention to stop traffic.
If you wanted to break the law on an everyday norm, you should have joined a street gang. That's what they're known for. That's what they do. You're not allowed to steal cars on my block. We steal those cars.
I mean, it was so bad by us in Vegas. I was in the pool swimming, and the guys came back, "Hey, Pee-wee, the cops are here. They want to talk to you." I said, "Well, go talk to them. Find out what they want." And they came back, they go, "They want to talk to you."
Typically, if you leave the club, if you haven't been in for 10 years, you're automatically out back.
Got put out in 2006. Back in 2007, wound up going into Chattin. 2011. Came out of there, I had 4.5 years to walk off with zero support from that club.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the hitman for the Hells Angels that had his parole revoked because the other inmates are scared of him in a halfway house. We're going to talk about the Galloping Goose. We're going to talk about a bunch of other things. We're going to talk about some mob rats today. And shout out to everybody on this Monday. I appreciate you guys taking the time. If you guys like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We got the best content out here. Shout out to Lindsay. Thank you for joining me today. It's a little rainy out there, but we're still getting things done. We got a lot of videos for you guys. We're going to show you some clips. We're going to give you guys a lot of information about tons of different things that are going on. First, I want you guys to check out this video. Now, this video is in the hood somewhere, in a gas station, and there's a security guard there. But it looks like he don't make enough money to deal with this. Check this out. Look at him. He's frozen. Look, they're standing in there with an AK-47. They got AKs. They got pistols in their hands. They're all dancing around in a gas station. He's like, oh, hell no. Hell no. Look at these dudes. He's like, no, I'm going to ignore them like they ain't here. That is insane. He's like, no, I don't make enough money to deal with this. Hell no. He said, I'm going to just buy me something and get out of here. What would you do in this situation? Like, what can you do? There's nothing you could really do in that type of situation. Definitely not. You're kind of screwed. Hey, Larry, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Maureen, what's going on? Calvin, thank you for joining me. So another case I want to talk to you guys about is a woman was killed while she visited her husband in prison. Woman reportedly killed during a conjugal visit with her husband who was serving life in prison. Now her family searches for answers. Crazy. She was visiting her husband on a conjugal visit, and he ended up strangling her. Let's check it out. I got a video for you guys. Let's get into it. Hit the like button.
A notorious LA killer serving life in prison without the possibility of parole reportedly strangled his wife to death during a conjugal visit. 54-year-old David Brinson was convicted in the 1990 execution-style murders of 4 men in the Mid-Wilshire district. Authorities.
You know what this is going to do? It's going to stop all conjugal visits. Honestly, he was a convicted killer, bunch of people. He shouldn't have the right to visit his wife in a trailer. I don't think that he should have the right to do that. What do you guys think? He already was convicted of killing people. I don't think you should get that right.
Last November, while at Mule Creek State Prison in Northern California, he told officers his 62-year-old wife, Stephanie, had passed out during a conjugal visit. She was declared dead at the scene. 4 months later, a coroner confirmed that she was strangled to death. The Amador County District Attorney is awaiting the prison's full report before filing charges against Brinson. Brinson has since been transferred to a state prison in Stockton.
Questions about a killer, a man sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole, but allowed.
You're sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms, and you get conjugal visits. Like, that's insane. That just doesn't even make sense to me. It does not make sense. And then a woman loses her rights. That right should be taken away right away. I agree with you, Maureen. Like 4 life sentences, and you're able to get conjugal visits? Hell no. No. That's what they're going to do. They're going to put a stop to all conjugal visits because of this guy. Guaranteed.
Allowed to have unsupervised family visits. And one of those visits, his wife ends up dead.
Your reporter, Madison.
Unsupervised. Like, in what world do we live in where a convicted killer with 4 life sentences could be unsupervised at any time? That should not be. It puts you on a bad news list. Oh, he's in Stockton killing a woman in California. Hey, keep up the good content. Thank you, Diaz. I appreciate that. Yo, I want to say rest in peace to Chex. A long time. He's kind of like a legend out here. Everybody knows who he is. Chex passed away. Rest in peace to him. It's a sad situation. A lot of good people are passing away, and it's really sad. I want to send condolences to his family.
Has the woman's family's plea to the prison make changes and give them answers.
Love their grandchildren more than anything. And that's what hurts the most, is because we got some that's about 3 years old. They don't know, what's going on. It's hard to explain that to them.
Stephanie Brinson wore many hats. Grandmother, mom, a volunteer who gave back to her community.
It really hurt. She was a very loving person to a fault. She didn't care what your past was. She saw the good in everybody.
Stephanie died during an overnight family visit at Mule Creek State Prison. She was there visiting her husband, David Brinson, sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole for killing 4 men in a Los Angeles robbery in 1994.
She liked this guy and she trusted him. Unfortunately, it was her demise.
According to the Amador County Sheriff's and CDCR, at some point in the middle of the night during their November visit, Brinson called the prison staff to say Stephanie passed out. 2 weeks later, her family was told something seemed suspicious about the case.
Kind of suspected it was something weird going on because she was healthy.
Her children's fears realized. The Amador County coroner ruled it a homicide. Stephanie was strangled.
It's a very frustrating role because we know it was just him and her in the room, nobody else. No supervision, no phones. They take her phone, they take all her belongings.
So she can't even call for help if she wanted to. Like, and not that she would. I mean, he can play this situation and say, "Oh, it was a mistake. We were having sex and she wanted me to choke her, blah, blah, blah." He'll get charged with manslaughter. He'll go on his regular convictions, and he'll just go on with his life. Same bullshit he was dealing with before. They're not going to treat this like a murder situation. They're going to charge him. He'll end up getting convicted of manslaughter.
So what hope does she have to, her life is in his hands at that point.
Her children want answers.
Good.
Why
I hope they do,
with
Calvin.
A violent history was allowed to have unsupervised visits at all. We took those questions to CDCR. They say protocol is that visits are determined by conduct while incarcerated, not convictions, unless an inmate has suspended privileges due to disciplinary actions, are on death row, or are convicted for sex offenses.
We just want answers. What could be done, not even just for the sake of my mom, but for the future, for somebody else's mom, somebody else's wife.
Trying to make a change. There are no charges for Stephanie's death, and Brinson has not been named as a suspect. He has been moved, however, to a facility in Stockton.
Crazy situation. I don't understand how he can get conjugal visits with 4 life sentences. It makes no sense. But anyway, in other news, this guy, He's an alleged hitman for the Hells Angels. Loses parole after halfway house roommates are too scared of him. Dean Daniel Kelsie, his handlers couldn't find another halfway house that would take him. Now, this is up in Canada, Nova Scotia. Hells Angel hitman who killed a man in Nova Scotia has seen his day parole revoked because inmates at a halfway house were scared. They were too scared to go to sleep in the same room as Dean Daniel Kelsie, and his handlers couldn't find another halfway house that would take him. Kelsie, 51, serving a life sentence for the October 2000 shooting death of Sean Simmons in the lobby of Dartmouth NS apartment buildings. The court heard Simmons was killed for having an affair with the wife of a member of the Hells Angels motorcycle gang. You could be intimidating in your nonverbal behavior, and you explained your expectations of your roommates and made comments that may seem threatening to others. Your roommates slept outside of the room to avoid conflict with you, said Kelsie's most recent parole decision. He moved into Quebec halfway house last summer. The facility's name is redacted from Kelsie's parole decision, the date of March 18th. According to your case management team, from the beginning of your stay in a halfway house, you had significant difficulties living with your roommates, said the parole board. Since March 2003, Kelsie has been serving a life sentence for conspiracy to commit murder and second-degree murder. The risk you presented for public safety was no longer assumable. You were initially convicted of first-degree murder. However, in 2019, the court ruled in your index offense was a second-degree murder and still in that part of conspiracy, said Kelsie's parole decision. In addition, you have been convicted of assaulting a fellow inmate in 2018 or 2008, 2015, and of May 2024. So listen, if he was convicted of all these assaults, how the hell did he get paroled to get out in a halfway house? He just assaulted someone last year. It's crazy. You were also sentenced to 18 months probation for uttering threats. You committed this offense while on day parole against a coworker. It's crazy. The prison assaults involve punching and kicking other inmates. You describe these offenses as fights that you claim you two have won, said Kelsie's parole decision. You noted that the victims were willing to fight you and that you acted the way you did to put an end to the conflict. You explained that you had no choice as you had to be seen as strong to survive. Kelsie's criminal record began when he was 18. Your convictions include theft, assault causing bodily harm, resisting arrest, uttering threats, robbery, mischief, obstruction of a police officer, possession of substances, drug trafficking, said the parole board. His risk of violence and recidivism has been assessed by a psychologist as moderate high. Kelsie's lengthy incarceration has had an impact to his ability to socialize properly with others, as he finds it difficult to connect with people, and said in the decision. Kelsie's first got day parole in September 2001. He lost it again after getting into a conflict with another resident of the halfway house. He was transferred to another halfway house, but that didn't work out either. and it was suspended in October 2023 for intimidating and threatening a colleague. Kelsie was granted parole again last July. He found a job, but was fired after less than a month, said the parole board. The reason for the dismissal was for being intimidating, aggressive towards supervisor. God damn. His handlers, hold on, let me show you a picture of the guy. So the guy he killed is on the picture on the right. I don't know if you guys can see that. The guy he allegedly killed is a picture of the guy on the right. And his handlers subjected that Kelsie to his behavior plan last October after staff at a halfway house where he was staying indicated that he didn't want him there anymore. It was made clear to you that the halfway house was offering you a unique opportunity that you had to seize it, the decision said. But Kelsie reverted to his old intimidating tactics, said the parole board. You have been unable to seize the opportunity. You had your difficulties in living with others quickly reappeared. Consequently, the halfway house withdrew its support again and definitively in October 28, 2024, because your persistence, difficulty to live in the context of cohabitation despite your commitment to a behavior contract. So he had to sign a contract to even get in this place. You got to sign a contract on how you're going to act. You're not going to be a dick. You're not going to, break the rules. You're not going to threaten people. But he just doesn't care. He does what he wants. The risk you presented for public safety was no longer assumable, which led to the suspension of your day parole. As his recent parole hearings, Kelsie admitted that he needs to address his attitude. Your case management team has applied to several halfway houses in Montreal area, but your applications have been denied. At each location, said Kelse's parole board decision, which notes that he also refuses placement at a halfway house in any other area. That redacted from the decision, the parole board found that Kelsie was unable to adjust his attitude and behavior. I guess he could serve out his life sentence in prison, right? You appear to be impermeable to an intervention, said the parole board's decision. So it looks like he could just serve out the rest of his time in prison with the other inmates that don't know how to act. So, I mean, that's good for him, right? Speaking of people that don't know how to act, Douchey McDouchebag was arrested again. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but he was arrested a couple days ago, and he's out on bond already. And this won't last long. Mark my words. He will be back 100%. We all know that this guy cannot stay out of trouble. Now, he got out, right? And there's a video he posted.
Yo, holy, this kid is crazy. He has the speak.
Look, bonded out again. Look at this. He's out on a GPS monitor. Bonded out again.
Yo, holy, this kid is crazy. He has the speaker outside the addition. Look, with his Hummer he just got, and he's dancing.
Crazy. This dude, we all know that he does not know how to stay out of trouble. And here's another clip. This is of Gino getting arrested. So he was at like a club party type thing at the Moxie in Miami. He beat his girlfriend. This is an alleged before the party happened, a couple days before. I think it has something to do with this.
No. I want to see what. No. No. I want to see what. No.
Body is covered in bruises. He was charged with assault, strangulation, or assault, stalking, strong arm robbery. He looks a little worried. What did I do? What did I do? Where am I going?
All right, Gene, we'll figure it out.
Don't worry, Gene. We'll figure it out. I'm his brother, the guy says.
Yeah, I'll
Can you please get my stuff? Okay, I'm going in lockup. Can you get my stuff?
got it. I'll get it from you. All right, I'll get it. Don't worry.
So, let's talk about this. So there's an article. Former Bonanno family associate turned rat was arrested on stalking and domestic violence charges because he does not know how to keep his fucking hands to himself. He's a persistent woman beater. Former associate of Bonanno crime family turned government rat was arrested over the weekend. Gene Borrello, 40 years old, was arrested at an undisclosed location in Miami, Florida at 1 a.m. It was the Moxie. It was at a party called the Moxie. Miami. According to Miami-Dade County Jail records, the suspect faces a misdemeanor charge of stalking, 2 felony counts, including strong arm robbery and battery. He faces up to 21 years in prison. Good job, Gino. Great job. He faces 21 years in prison and more than $15,000 fine if convicted on all counts. Borrello was being held in the Miami-Dade County Prison. According to a post on Instagram story, Borrello bonded out of prison sometime Sunday. In another upload, Borrello wrote, "Party at the Moxie," a restaurant chain in Florida. He's set to be arraigned next month. An associate is used as a term to describe members of a mafia family who haven't become made man, because Borrello, his nickname is Tonto. He cannot be a made man because he is a straight up douchebag. He will never amount to shit. He will just be a scumbag, and he will forever be known for this type of shit.
I want to see what. I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
In this Airbnb, right?
Yes, I pushed the door.
And whose card is on file here?
Yours. But I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix the door for you.
So if
I did this to the door. I did this to the door. I did this to the door. I pushed the door in. I pushed the door in. I pushed the door in. I pushed the door in.
In this Airbnb, right?
Yes, I pushed the door.
And whose card is on file here?
Yours. 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 But I'm gonna fix it. 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 I'm gonna fix the door for you. I'm gonna fix the door for you. I'm gonna fix the door for you. I'm gonna fix the door for you.
So if I get charged for this,
you're not being charged.
I'm suing you. I'm taking you to court.
Fixing you. Fixing you. Fixing you. I did.
door?
I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
You're a dirty bitch.
You ruined it.
Oh man, it's not looking good for Gino. He faces 21 years in prison, and I don't think he has the FBI's cooperation anymore. I don't think they're gonna help this fucking guy. He's been arrested so many times. I think they're about fed up with his bullshit, and I don't think there's too many more people he could tell on. But who knows? We'll see in the future, right? So in other news, we're going to talk about the Galloping Goose. I don't know if you guys are aware of this club. The Galloping Goose is basically in Missouri. So 3 people were arrested in Pettis County drug raid. Charges are pending against 3 people arrested last night in Sedella, according to a Facebook post. And Pettis County Sheriff Brad Andlers, 11:30 p.m., the sheriff's office, Missouri Drug Task Force executed a search warrant on a location at the 2800 block of State Highway TT in Sedella. A search of the property led to the recovery of methamphetamine, fentanyl, LSD, 3 firearms, ammunition, drug paraphernalia. Several items displayed Galloping Goose's motorcycle club have been recovered. Authorities also arrested Arisa Packard, Dennis Dotson, and Charles Montier. Here, let's take a look at those people. So this is Arcia Packard. That's her name. Dennis Dotson. I'm not sure which one's what. And then that's the other guy, Charles Montier. Packard faces, that's the chick. Packard faces 1 count each of a possession of a controlled substance, unlawful possession of paraphernalia. Dotson, I think that's this guy, faces 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance and 1 count each of delivery of a controlled substance, unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. And I think this guy is Charles. He faces 3 counts of unlawful use of a weapon, 1 count each of second-degree drug trafficking, possession of a controlled substance, tampering with physical evidence, maintaining a nuisance, and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. So I looked at the Facebook page that they were talking about, and I scrolled down, and every single post has to do with methamphetamines, and it looks to me like they got a really bad drug problem out there in Missouri. Missouri has a really bad meth problem. So I don't know. They need to get that together. It's craziness. Let me check some of these comments. Ghost Eagle Guardian, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Larry, what's good? Calvin. Maureen. Any word on Big Lips? Oh, you got it. Gene's going to snitch again? I don't know if he has anybody to snitch on, for real. I don't think so. Listen. He is a done deal. He thinks he's untouchable. That's what he thinks. Dick Lips is his name. That's my brother. Sorry. This is my brother. No, that's not your fucking brother. He doesn't even have a brother. They're butt brothers. That's what they are. Oh, man. I can't play it because of the music. But look, you see, it says bounded out back. Why don't you show your ankle there, Gino? He has a GPS monitor on it. Why don't you show your ankle? Huh? Yeah, he won't do that, huh?
All right, Gene, figure it out.
Don't worry, Gene, you're a rat. They won't murderize you in prison. Don't worry. You talked a lot of shit about the cartel. Don't worry. They won't remember that, Gene. Who's the biggest pussies in prison, Gene? What did you say? Who did you say were? Oh, yeah, the cartel, right? Yeah, we're going to dig up that video, and we'll have it for you this week. Yeah, he said the cartel is the biggest pussies in prison.
All right, Gene, figure it out. Yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it from you. I'll get it. Don't worry.
Craziness. Hey, it's only going to get crazier. You guys already know he cannot stay out of trouble. He can't keep his hands to himself. Make sure you guys go check out Patreon. I just put a crazy video up there. I cannot play on YouTube. It's where a guy goes into a gas station, right? And there's a security guard. He walks into the gas station, and the security guard puts his hand on his chest. And he goes, "Don't touch me, man." And then he pulls a gun out, and the security guard just lights him up right there in the gas station. Go check it out on Patreon. Exclusive content over there on Patreon. I got a lot of great interviews dropping. Make sure you guys check out Coyote's interview with the Heathens Motorcycle Family. It's a really good one. He explains a lot of stuff in that one. And I'm going to play a clip for you on how the swastika led him to the club that he's in now. It's an insane story.
Is on the back of our cuts, and we ended up chopping it up. So at that time I met that guy, and I met a couple of other people, and we're the whole night drinking, and one of them said to me, who actually turns out to be he's my P now, he's like, one day, man, I think you're gonna end up riding for us. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Then I ended up riding with them, man, and it turns out some people that I came up with were a part of the club. Some people, I was a sponsored skateboarder for a while, and there was a dude in there was on the same skate team as me, and he's the reason I'm there. You know what I mean? So here we are.
So basically, the swastika is what brung you to the club, basically, right?
Right. And isn't that weird? He's like, I tell you what, I don't know you. I just met you today. He's like, I like your energy, man. And if my brothers are vouching for you the way that they're vouching for you, then I'm going to vouch for you. And when it's time for you to rock, I got you, and it's just been like that ever since. There's never been one moment where I've ever had to question, yo, dude, do my bros got my back? Never. Yeah.
I think when you're in a bigger club, maybe it's like that because they don't really know the people. So part 2 is dropping tonight at 10 o'clock. Part 1 is already out there. Go check it out. Here's the cover for part 2. It's a 5-part series. A lot of great content on the way. I got another guy from the Death Marauders. People said they liked that interview with Wayne from the Death Marauders. Shout out to him. I got a lot more Motorcycle Club content on the way. Shout out to Repo. Shout out to Pee Wee. Shout out to Jeremy. Shout out to everybody out there. Popcorn. I appreciate all you guys. There's tons of content on the way, and I enjoy bringing it to you. If you guys want to donate to this show, donations help a lot, keeps the show going. You can hit up the Cash App at Chattin with Staxx. You can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chat, Zelle, all that good stuff. Every single dollar goes a long way, so I appreciate you. If you donate, thank you. I hope you guys have a great Monday, and there's tons of content on the way tonight, 10 o'clock. Don't miss part 2 with the Heathens Motorcycle family. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. If you guys like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you don't like this show, too fucking bad. Start your own podcast. And remember, don't be a gene. Peace.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.